What do you want to do when you grow up? What do you aspire to be? Who do you see yourself as ultimately in your dreams? When I was 18 years old, I applied to the #1 aeronautical university in the country, and I got in Daytona Beach. It's known as Embry-Riddle. And as soon as I got there, I started to feel a little out of place. There's a lot of math, a lot of science, a lot of engineering, but I'm a left-handed artist, and I thought differently and I thought outside the box, and a lot of things just really didn't make sense. So I spent the first few years of college um, just kind of going through the motions, right? Maybe you're going through the motions right now of somebody who you think you want to be. Maybe it's somebody your parents wanted you to be. Very soon after I realized that this career of wanting to build space station, in space, be a part of the space station, um, I took a step back. You know, I pulled myself back and started to study the basics, started to learn simple things. And as I began to find myself, I began to ask a lot of questions. So you may be here also in that same time and space, asking a lot of questions. And I want to help encourage you to find the answers that you're seeking, because things are changing quite a bit in today's society, and a lot of jobs are very uncertain. But the one thing for sure is that there are more people on this planet now than ever before. And each one of those people needs to eat. So consider thinking about something that you could do, a skill that you could learn that everyone needs to know. This one skill of growing food used to be very, very well known. It actually, 50 years ago, half the population were farmers. 70 years ago, more people were farmers. Every other person was a farmer. All of our grandparents were farmers. All of our great grandparents, they had all these little secrets that today we hear and we're just like, where did I hear that from? I know that. I feel that. That's in our DNA. That's in our blood, because we already have this knowledge. Going through that journey of trying to find myself and study and journal and meditate and fast. I fasted for 30 days on water and moringa tea. And after that, I knew what I had to do. I knew that I had to help others. In this process of learning how to grow food, I took it on as a mission to help regenerate our knowledge, to help find ourselves. That's why I'm here and I'm showing you all of this. Thankfully, I have the technology to be able to encapsulate this time and moment forever online. And thank you for sharing it with me. I greatly appreciate you for coming in and learning more about moringa. I'm a moringa farmer here in the USA. I'm in Tampa, Florida, Plant City, Florida, right outside of Tampa. And I've been on this 2.5 acre property for almost 4 years. And being here and having this flower blossom with the amount of information that I gather just by being outside every morning when the sun comes up, talking to the plants and getting this information, I want to just pass it down to you. So I know you might be asking some of the same 100 questions that I get every single day. I get the same 100 questions every day. That's a business when you can do things over and over and over and over. Nowadays, it's called the boring businesses. The boring businesses are the best businesses. They're the most successful businesses. And sometimes farming can be a little boring because it's the same thing over and over. Weed, cut, harvest, dry, process, package, sell. It's all the same thing. But every day I get better and better and better at telling that story. And so I'd like to just hang out with you here in the morning while I do a little bit of some work. I've been feeding the moringa trees that I have here over the last couple days with you in this kind of like vlog, like daily vlog. And we're now finally on the row that we started with. When we started to water and feed this about a week ago, they were not as big. They were definitely not as green and definitely not as high. And so I just wanted you to see the farm as we've been progressing. If you haven't been to the channel yet, haven't seen us, thanks for coming by. We're starting to get a little bit more eyes and ears. And so if you have any questions, you can comment below, or you can also come inside of the Grow Moringa Collective members area. It's very affordable to get all of these questions answered that you may need. From me, I have a class that I teach every day at 3 p.m. Eastern Time over the summer. It's summer enrollment. Summer school is open now for everybody who wants to come in and learn from myself, who has been growing moringa for about 10 years now. This is our first row that I just got cut back yesterday. And that's intensive 10,000 seedlings. Then we have our orchard row. Then we have another 10,000 seedlings. This is an intercropping agroforestry system with another orchard row, another 10,000 seedlings. And in between these moringa trees, there are other plants, other supplemental plants that I'm growing as well, and continuing to fill out the system. The moringa was a pioneer crop to really help establish the soil, get the fungal activity together. So if you have any questions, comment below, come into the members area. Or also, if you need more information or you want to talk to me, you can text Collective to 813-696-6676. Let's go ahead and take this water off. I'll probably move it back to the first one, and then we'll cut these trees back together. We already fed them last week, so we're going to wait another week. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk around and feed a little bit of every single one of these trees together with you really quickly. So thanks for watching and hanging out and checking out the food forest. I'll put on the hat cam. Beautiful. This is before it gets a little bit too hot out here. It's about 8 o'clock. So first what I need to do is just remove the water hose. I'm going to take it to the first row just because the first row hasn't been watered now in about a week. Although it says that we're going to get rain. We got a little bit of showers last night. Very little sprinkles. And the issue with this row is that it's brand new. It's the least developed. It's the youngest row. They were all established pretty much over the last couple months. But the mulch underneath here is very, very young. I had the trucks come and drop off loads and loads and loads of oak mulch, hundreds of loads of oak mulch last summer. And this area right here is the youngest. This area over here was all dropped like 2 years ago. And so now we're just starting to intercrop for the first time. I just started to establish these intercropping rows. And so in April, only 2 months ago, I dropped a row of mulch to kind of raise this up a little bit. You can see it raises up here on this mound. And so these little babies here are just being affected and stunted by the amount of oak mulch that's down under there. Now I did put some soil down in here also, but the root systems are just kind of struggling to get a hold of some nutrient without being robbed of the nitrogen and the nutrient. That's what oak mulch does, is it robs plants of nitrogen and nutrients. If it doesn't have it, it will rob those plants. As it breaks down, it's absorbing the vitamins and minerals from the atmosphere. Now see the difference between these babies and those babies is that this mound of oak mulch was dropped about 2 years ago. And so that's what really excites me about this entire operation, is that we're in year 1 over here, really. But this is like year 2, year 3 already established here in this zone. So come next year, the trees are all going to look like this within 60 days. And that's very, very promising. I'm very excited for that. So I'm just going to set this down. I'll go ahead and put that in after we get off. I'm just going to go ahead and just trim these trees back now with you, just so you can see how I'm getting these trees cut back. It might be a little loud, but I'll see if I can try to put the volume down on it. Won't be much.
Attention, this is my boarding call. Bags up there against the wall. Step on the flight, be there by the night. Get ready, cause man, we taking off. No doubt this world is mine. Find myself when I lose track of time. No, I'm not new with that. Got my crew in the back, I feel alright.
Take me to my city. Look at the window, it's so pretty. No need to be quiet, I'm taking this life, so won't you rock with me? Just step up to the London town. Look at me now, I shut it down. Gonna make this world my own, won't stop, next stop, you can spot it, oh, go.
1,000 miles away. We don't care what the people say.
We don't care.
Cause love will lead the way.
All right. That was easy. Only because we're missing a lot of trees in this little area here. And a lot of them are really small, but then what I want to do before it gets too hot or anything is just pick these babies up. We'll get them in the bins real quick. And then you and I will feed in some of the big moringas. We can go ahead and stop this one. Cool. And that's what's good about coming out here early, because now it doesn't get too hot so fast. If I get out here at like 9, I'm not done until 10. But if I can get out here at 7:38, then I can get out of here at 9, and it's still not as hot. Boy, I tell you, once coming out here and doing some work, doing some sweating, it's really cleansing, it's relieving, it's health. You know, I've been going to a friend's house, and he has a sauna. And that'll take it out of you. I'm also just trying to make sure all these tops are popped. And I'm really just grabbing what I can. I know a lot of this stuff is going to fall through. That's the point of this action as well, is added fertilizer to the zone. But also at the same time, this cutting back allows any of the smaller ones that are down in here to get through, to get some sun. Plus, it's also going to help me come through here and just clean out some of these grasses that are down in here. So I'm really just grabbing what I can off the top, checking to see if there's any ones that I can cut. Say the tops real quickly. I have my hand cutters. Any of the ones that were really big. Popping the tops like this just really helps to put the energy back down into the root system, like that. And then she'll come back up with even more vigor, more sticks, more stems, more branches. These trees will have wood in the next 30 days. So I'll be at 90 days with wood. And that's why you want to plant everything April 1st. April 1st is April New Year's. That's Farmer's New Year's. In the Farmer's Almanac, April 1st is day one. And that's what I've been learning too, is you're a fool if you're not planting seeds on April 1st. If you're not farming by April 1st, you're a fool. Because this stuff is super good for you. I'm not much of like a veggie farmer because I think it's just a little bit too much burn and turn. You know, doing this constantly with lettuce. I like this because it has a little bit more of a longer cycle. This lettuce, not the devil's lettuce, but the Bible's lettuce. This is in the Bible. This lettuce is in the Bible. This tree is mentioned many times throughout the Bible. This is the tree that has the seed that turns bitter with water. The Moringa seeds turn, or I should say, the bitter seed that turns sweet in water. That's what's really cool about Moringa, is that when you eat the seed, it's bitter at first, but then it turns sweet. Yeah, lots of grass in here. I got to come back in here and just do some weeding. But I love getting these little action morning shots with you. This is essentially my little video log of my day. You can kind of see a little bit of what Farmer Ken goes through to supply our customers with fresh and local moringa. I love it. You know, my parents are like, "You're not going to go get a job?" I had graduated architecture school, and I had built a few buildings and worked with several firms already at that time. Had done many internships and actually picked up a few clients outside of school. Like, people just heard that I was in architecture school. It's like, "Hey, can you help build my house?" And I was like, "Sure." And so I became kind of like the project manager on a couple of occasions where I didn't have my license, but I hired architects to do the job because they had the license. And then I also worked finishing and helping doing that job. So I'd be the main contact for the client and expressing to the architect what the client's desires were. And then we would put it on paper. I would be the draftsman, essentially. So if you see all the photos and all the graphics that come out of our social media channels, those are from me. That's me making all those graphics in Photoshop. All the photos on the website, those are my photos. Those are the photos that I took. I learned how to do that stuff in architecture school. And I was really grateful for my dad and my family to get me in a magnet program. When in high school, I went into a school in Palm Beach that had a magnet program. It was a drafting magnet program. So in 2001, when I was a freshman in high school, I moved to Florida, and I enrolled in a magnet school where it wasn't like a normal high school. Like, we actually had like dress code, and And they had like nursing program, automotive program, all kinds of different programs, and we all had to wear kind of like what our major was. So like the automotive people, they all had to wear like Dickies. The nursing program people, they all had to wear scrubs. Um, and the architect or the drafting program and the architecture program, we all had to wear like polos and khakis. So it was fun. I had a great time in high school, met a lot of really cool people. I was new to the area. I had moved to Palm Beach in 2001 to live with my dad in Florida, but my mom was in Baltimore, and I grew up with my mom mostly in Baltimore, and we lived in a town called Joppa Town. And I was fairly popular in elementary school and middle school. I did all the like SGA stuff, in elementary school. I became like the president of the SGA, and I was really musical, so I was in the music program. I played the tenor saxophone through elementary and middle school, so I was always in band practice. And my mom had me in private lessons. I took private lessons at Peabody Preparatory School in Towson, Maryland, and studied under instructors that were from Juilliard and the New York School of Arts, and I got to just be creative. Musically, it was really cool. I got to learn a lot of different instruments. Mostly play the tenor sax, but also got into like the clarinet and the percussions and piano and trumpet, and got to play all the instruments. My parents encouraged me with they actually they convinced me or bribed me to learn a new instrument by giving me like like a bicycle. I remember one time they're like, if you learn how to play the trumpet, we'll give you this bicycle. So in like 2-3 months, I was playing the trumpet and making songs out of the trumpet. So I got myself a new bicycle, and then it was like, hey, if you want this mini bike, you have to learn how to play the piano. So after like a couple months, almost a year or so of practicing, I learned how to play the piano. And every time that I got a new toy, it was after like a recital. So they said after your performance, whatever performance that might be, I would like enter competitions and performances, solo performances, and would get on stage, and then my reward would be like a new toy. So, and then that just translated into having a passion for the arts, and so when I got into Embry-Riddle, it was a real shock because there was no art. It was no artistic, and I, even to this day, like everybody assumes when I say, hey, I'm an architect, they say, oh wow, you must be really good at math. I'm like, no, actually, architecture is no math at all. And I didn't know that for a long time, because in high school they kind of teach you the basics of architecture, which was quite a bit math. So not only are they trying to teach you architecture, but they're also trying to teach you math, right? Like a normal high school. And actually, I realized after failing out of math programs for 4 years, trying to be an engineer, my family had sit down with me, and I remember we're all sitting around the table, and they're like, what's going on? Like, everybody your age already graduated college, and you barely have any credits. Like, what's going on? It's like, I don't know, like the math, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just not me. And they said, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? And I'm like, well, I thought I wanted to build on the space station. I thought that I might want to be an astronaut or something, or at least design and build something in space, which I thought would be really cool. And they said, well, maybe you want to build more so on land, on the planet, on Earth. And I was like, maybe. And I just kind of went back to my roots of high school, going through architecture program. They're like, well, maybe it's not engineering. Maybe it's more architecture that you want to be. And at that time, I had already moved to Orlando. I'd been going to Valencia. I kind of took a step back from Embry-Riddle and went to Valencia. And then, thankfully, they had a really great architecture program. And it led right into UCF. And then I could decide where I wanted to go after that for my master's program. So, I mean, I had some credits, and so I spent 2 more years starting architecture. I began the architecture program. Here I am now, 22, 4 years into college, and started the architecture program pretty much fresh, brand new. I had some credits from Embry-Riddle and some credits from Valencia, and was able to get to the level of where I could apply for my master's program. And then that's where I got into USF. It wasn't easy. I actually didn't get in at first. I rode my motorcycle out to Tampa. I knocked on the president's door and I said, hey, you don't have an appointment. They're like, you don't have an appointment. I said, I know, I need to talk to the president. And I convinced her to let me in to the program because my GPA wasn't good enough because of all the classes that I failed at Embry-Riddle, and just, it didn't look good on paper. The GPA didn't look good on paper, but I told her, I was like, look, that engineering stuff wasn't for me, and I'm an architect. I went to high school for architecture. I got sidetracked with engineering. I need you to let me in. You won't regret it. That was my salesman right there. And so she said, well, let me take a look. And she said, well, although you got into the architecture program, like you're in the architecture program, you just weren't accepted to USF. I was like, what? Like your portfolio and everything that you submitted to the architecture program, they want you. They definitely want you. I'm like, okay, but your criteria to join USF Bulls isn't high enough. And she said, well, because of the circumstances and because you've completed everything that you've needed to get into the architecture program, we'll go ahead and we'll let you in. She said, come to orientation next week. Yes! I got in. And I loved being in that program, and I hated being in that program at the same time. But I will take everything that I learned from that for life. Everything that I do today is based on my experiences there in that architecture program. Honestly, that's how I operate. It taught me how to be this way. The way to think in space, in spatial terms. It really helped to hone in my artistic skills as well and give it a little bit more of rigidity and structure. And now that I'm out of school, I can be a little bit more flow and fun and kind of have my own style. And that's what I'm developing now is this farm. I'm building this farm and will be building a new house here as well very soon with those skills that I learned there. So let's water in some plants. That's one thing that we haven't done yet, is actually just feed some of the other plants. I just want to get some food on every single one of these little babies. So we're going to use our moringa leaf extract. This is made from moringa leaves. It's a concentrate form of essentially moringa tea, compost tea. It's got a lot of micronutrients, enzymes, It's USDA certified organic. And it's cool because it has like this little squeezer here, which we can measure an ounce. This is a concentrate form of the moringa leaf extract. It's alive. There's microbiology inside here. There's lots of microorganisms. There's living particles in here, plus lots of vitamins, minerals, phosphorus, zinc, all the great things that the plants need. And so we use 32 ounces of water per 1 ounce of extract. And so this bottle is 16 ounces, and this is 2 gallons. So it's about 4 ounces to a gallon. So we're going to use 8 ounces here. Okay. Got some agua here. And we're just going to feed in a little bit to every baby here. And we'll call it a morning. The reason why I'm going to get a little bit of food on each one of these babies is because it's about to rain possibly this week. And this could help soak in and just give it some added vitamins, minerals. We already fed in the first row about a week ago together when I started this little series, this little vlog series here of just taking care of the intensive beds. Next up, we got to go to the greenhouse. And then after that, we got to go back to the pots. And even in between that, I have to plant the garden. So there's lots of little projects here together that we can hang out with and film. So I really appreciate you for hanging out and learning, getting to know me and the operation. I started my plant nursery actually here. On this property 10 years ago. I was working here. I'm just going to put a little bit down on each one. Not much. Doesn't need much. Just a little bit of food. Helps to keep it a little consistent. And they told me when I worked here, they said, you know, one day you're going to own this place. Well, now we're about to. The members have really been supportive of the operation. They really love seeing what we're doing here. They're watching the videos, and then they're getting more access to me and others in the members area, which they really love. You get to connect with all the other growers. We have over 400 other people that are now inside the members area. These little babies just got cut back. Just cut all these babies back. I got to get out here and mow again. But we'll get a little bit of food on each one of these really quick. Yeah. Looking good, baby girls. Oh, yeah. Hey, sweeties. What's up, girlfriend? Hey, chica. Ay, hermosa. Qué bonita. Qué chévere. Buenas. Oy, loca. Showing out. Oh, yeah. Take a look at all these little babies here. Nice. Just a little bit down there helps a long way. Get a little bit of that. Get a little bit of that. Get a little bit of that. These are pineapples. This one is a Vitex Laurel. No, this one is the Sweet Almond. Hopefully she comes back. All right, so we pretty much got all those fed. Good. Now we'll probably just have to fill up one more time. Just want to get a little bit down. This just helps boost a little bit of the microorganisms down in here. Don't need much. Might have to replace this tree. This tree's got a big old hole down the middle. I cut off the side. I'm probably going to replace this tree. Yeah. Just after coming through here and digging out, you know, I'm revealing all the root systems. Good, good. Yeah, I'm going to definitely be able to finish these trees out with one more batch. And then it'll probably be too hot to do anything else. Although it does seem kind of cooler right now, I think because maybe the clouds are going to be rolling in soon. That's good. I mean, we haven't had any rain here in a while. It's been super dry, crispy. If there's anything that you'd like to know, don't hesitate to comment below. And I'll get back to you. I get back to all the comments. I haven't missed a single comment. So we're going to pour the other half in here. And let's go. Let's go. I really love living out here. We actually had a member. So cool what I'm doing because I'm getting to know hundreds and hundreds of people around the country, little by little, one by one. You know, when people call, they want to know everything all at once. And that's why I created the platform, the Grow Moringa Collective. So that way we could spend a year to 2 years getting to know each other, getting to know the systems, getting to know the cycles. You can ask hundreds and hundreds of questions in there every day, wherever you get stuck on. And so one of the members was in town looking for houses. He's from San Diego, and they have a house in San Diego, a farm, a moringa farm in San Diego. And he's been supplying the members with his moringa. So he signed up for membership. He's like, hey, I'm starting my moringa farm, and I want to get buyers. I need buyers. And I said, if you come into the members area and you promote your moringa, you'll find buyers. There are members that are going to the farmers markets and want to sell moringa. I can't keep up with all the orders. I can't keep up with everyone's orders. And so that's why I created this platform to share the load, you know, to share the demand. There's so much demand for moringa that I know that I can't do it all. So let me give other people business too. So that's what I did in this program. I'm able to give other people business. So this member that came to visit me yesterday, he's from San Diego, and he's been a member for 2-3 years, you know, and he showed up and he's like, hey, it's so-and-so. And we gave each other a big hug. We looked at each other as if, you know, it was my uncle, you know? And that was what's so cool about him coming. I'm like, we never met. You know, he's from San Diego, although my mom is from San Diego. I did feel that connection. You know, I love people from California, Cali vibe, San Diego, just really cool vibes. And just like my mama. So we just hung out for like an hour, 2 hours. He was here, and it was really great to see him and got to meet him. I'm going to move this mulberry. She's right in the middle. Actually, I'm going to probably take this mulberry out because what I'm realizing is that this is actually not a native mulberry. This is an invasive mulberry. If a mulberry has shiny leaves, it's actually a white mulberry. Even though it's red fruit, it's in the white mulberry family, and it's not a native to Florida. And I want to kind of incorporate more natives, especially since I am growing moringa, a non-native. I do want to balance out the system and incorporate more natives. These babies over here are getting big. Wait till the rain starts. Man, when the rain starts, whew, this field is going to blow up. Just getting a little bit down in each one. It's about consistency, you know, doing this every 2 weeks. It just really helps to bring in extra vitamins, minerals, nutrients. A little goes a long way. And also just getting the grass back from the center. So it was really great to hang out with that member. We had never met, but it felt like we knew each other. It was cool. And I would love for you to also visit too. I'm open 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can come out and say what's up. Would love to get to know you more as well. And if you are a little bit further away and can't come can't come out here, then get into the meetings. Get into the meetings with us every day. I'm live at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure we get these babies. Don't want to forget these big mamas. Woo! The big girls. Yeah, these were the first ones that I planted here. Not this one, but this one was actually one of the first ones. Jeez Louise. But I brought her over here and she was already kind of like this big. This one here was from a lady. She's like, hey, I planted it too close to my house. Can you come and take it? I was like, sure. It was already like 100 pounds. I got to get in here and mow some of this grass in here though. Whew. But even just getting some of this biostimulant on here and these cuts like this, it helps to get in there, down the soil. Doesn't take much. I've been working with this biostimulant now for a couple years and really love it. And I know that it's organic and it's grown organically. I'm working on a partnership to actually become a patent holder of this process of making this. And so just building relationships with farmers, Moringa farmers around the world who already know the value of Moringa and that it does such great things like this. You can use Moringa for people, pets, and plants. This is the Vitex Laurel. Hopefully she comes back. She should be coming back here. That's it, really. I think I got everything. Oh, did I miss this one? Everyone is happy. Beautiful. Well, thanks, y'all. Let's get a little after shot. Hopefully she's still running. She is. Wow, we're going to get this whole shot. Beautiful. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for hanging with me. I had a great morning in this beautiful vlog. And would love to see you. At least like this video if you haven't yet. And also subscribe to the Grow Moringa YouTube channel. I would really love that. And share it with all your friends. Let everybody know about Moringa and what we're doing here. And if you want to get on this growing bandwagon that we're doing, learn how to farm, learn a new skill this year, learn how to feed yourself more. Even if you have a little bit of space, just a little backyard, you can turn your little backyard into this. Just imagine if you only had a little space. You could do this very small. Don't just waste it with grass, and go ahead and put yourself some nice beautiful trees and watch them grow like yourself. So thanks for coming in. I will see you soon. Peace and love.